Hello, my name is Tony Beers, and this is Movie Grades.
And just like the movies, we play out our last scene.
So now we're gonna go to the bottom of the barrel, the shitty movies, or the bad movies.
You
of
can
the
say
year,
that,
yeah.
of the year, the movies that we hated. So I'll start with you, Dad.
Dad.
Jay.
Thanks, Tony.
Let's
Thanks,
start
I'm that old, huh?
with- I don't know why I said that, but
That's okay, bud.
We'll say.
He wants you to be his daddy later.
You want me to be your daddy?
Mm.
No, to me, I gotta say this. I was kind of disappointed in Godzilla. I was watching it and I fell asleep through some of it, I'm not gonna lie. For me, I think the biggest problem was it dragged. When Godzilla came out, I was like, yes, because it looked like the Godzilla I remember. And the fight was good with those, whatever, Mothra looking things, whatever they were. But it seemed like it took forever to get to it.
Mhm.
And to me, that hurt the movie. It could have been so much better if they would have had Godzilla appear quicker. The movie was, what, 2 hours? Hour and 40 minutes of it was people talking and
Yeah.
running around and hiding. And it wasn't the same feel as Pacific Rim was.
Yeah.
You know, Pacific Rim, it was like, okay, you know, I wasn't like that with this movie. I know you guys did a review on it, but I was like, yeah, I agree with everything you guys were saying.
Yeah.
You know, as far as that goes, to me, that was probably one of the worst movies of the year. My number 3.
Robin, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is going to be Maleficent. Or however you pronounce it.
Maleficent.
Yeah.
Maleficent, yeah.
Boy, we disagree on that one, didn't we?
Oh, yeah. I'm not disagreeing with the fact of visually it was great, but more or less for me, it was the fact of they were trying to turn her into a hero, and it changed some of what the original animated Sleeping Beauty was basically all about. I will say, however, that Angelina Jolie was definitely born for this part, but I mean, for the fact that it's trying to give a classic Disney villain some heart, for me, that really just killed me.
Mine was Batman Assault on Arkham, and yeah, it was released direct to DVD. This movie, jeez, I'll give it credit for having really, really great animation, but the story, the characters, oh my god. And the biggest thing for me was that it was a PG-13 movie with these DC characters. They went a little too far. There was so much violence in it, and sexuality, and close nudity. I mean, for violence,
No,
they
I
had
didn't see it.
heads exploding. I'm like, okay. And they have a sex scene, which, you know, they don't show a lot, but you know that's
You know what's going on.
You know what's going on. And that just seems the way that the DC is going nowadays. I understand that they want it to go for the adult audience, but you want to go for the mature adults. This is more appealing to the teenagers who think they're adult. It's not mature, it's just
Too much sex and violence.
yeah, too much sex and violence. DC, they did one episode of Justice League, which is titled Task Force X, which is basically the same story as the Suicide Squad, only they did it a million times better. I'm not just saying that I don't like sex and violence or anything. I have plenty of R-rated movies that I love.
Some are over R-rated.
Yeah. So, but you know.
Naughty,
But
naughty.
but for a DC PG-13 movie, it went too far. What's your number 2?
I'm gonna say this is one of your favorites. To me, the Sin City movie was not very good for me. I agree with Tony. The visuals were great. There was a lot of great visuals, and
Oh, yeah.
and that one scene with
Yeah.
Miho, I loved her stuff.
Mhm.
But there was just some unnecessary stuff in that movie that I just thought hurt it, like the scene with Ray Liotta
Yeah.
and then Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I didn't like his sequence. I think that hurt the movie for me. I thought it was one of the better movies visually of the year. I like the first one so much better. I just think maybe
Yeah.
my expectations were a little high. So to me, I'd say it was probably my second worst movie of the year.
Robin?
My number 2 worst of the movie is definitely Jersey Boys. Based on Frankie Valli and the 4 seasons. The movie was alright, the story was alright, but for me it had too many mob connections and screw-ups and all this stuff. And then when they went to the music, the actors that were trying to be them weren't them. And it really, really hurt.
So my number 2 worst movie of the year is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I never watched it. You know
I
why?
haven't seen it.
Because of what you told me, so
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
So yeah, this movie, I'll give it credit for getting pretty much the personality of the turtles correct, but the new origin that they gave them is just way too convenient for me, and I'll bring this up in my number one worst movie too. Oh, turtles were April's pets. Oh, April's dad worked for this guy. Oh, this guy was adopted by Shredder. This is way too convenient. They completely took out the character of Hamato Yoshi, you know, which is one of the biggest characters in the Turtles
Yeah, for God's
universe.
sake. I mean, he's...
You forget who made it? Michael Bay?
Yeah, Michael Bay.
that
And
leads into my worst number
Hell
one
yeah.
movie.
the turtles just look, as I said in my review, butt fugly. You know, they're just the ugliest turtles I've ever seen. And, jeez, it just didn't make any sense. And I could go on and on, but I want to keep this video kind of short. So, Jay,
Okay.
there's number one, bottom of the barrel,
Number
worst
one,
movie
number
of the
one.
year.
Number one worst movie of the year goes off of my friend here's Michael Bay stuff. Was the Transformers Age of Extinction.
That's mine too.
I sat through almost 3 hours of my life that I can't have back. You know, and it's sad for me to say this because I love Transformers. And to me, I sat through this piece of crap. The best part was Frank Welker in it. You know, he did the voice of Galvatron, which he did in the original cartoon series. And of course, they had, you know, Peter Cullen back and all that. The problem I have with this is the story itself was crap. Humans are hunting Transformers. And another problem I have is there's a Transformer hunting Transformers. Well, who sent him?
Yeah.
He's a bounty hunter. Never heard of him before.
No.
He just shows up and starts hunting Transformers. Where's the story tie in with that, Michael Bay? And not only were the humans hunting the Transformers, they were destroying them and taking their technology. The way that they created their own Transformers from Transformium, the metal, whatever it is. You know, and they talk about the Dinobot. Age of Extinction. You're thinking, oh, Dinobots. All right. Finally, they get the Dinobots in there. You see them for 10 minutes at the end of the movie, really. None of them talk. They basically remind me of Frankenstein's monster. Ooh. You know, that's basically their line in the movie.
Michael Bay just
He
craps
needs
on.
to get out of it.
Yeah.
Michael Bay just takes a crap on the G1 fans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's Energon. It's not the All-Spark.
See, I didn't even have a problem with that, but I have a problem with they're hunting Transformers, and then the
Exactly.
Transformers are turning around and killing humans to survive. That is not nothing what the Transformers were about.
Dinobots and Prime at the end sets them free. From what? You know, what was the point of the whole Dinobots instead of not having them even speak, you know?
Yeah.
Me, Grimlock!
That would have been so cool just to hear him say that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So on to my number one very worst movie of the year, and our friends Jay and Russell liked this movie. I think Russell did the most of us anyway, but and you liked it too. And I'm sure you know it's going to be
Amazing Spider-Man Part 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, it's so bad. The thing about it was, it didn't know what movie it wanted to be. Some parts of it was so goofy, and then some parts of it was so serious. You know, spoilers. You get the death of Gwen Stacy.
Wait a minute. The problem was the fact that they didn't show my cameo when I was working.
Yeah,
when I
you
was
look
working.
good. That was a nice Oscorp robe you had. by
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
way.
Oh yeah.
And the
there's-
smile on your face was priceless.
Exactly. Like I was saying, the best movie I said is Captain America, and I said because it merged everything so perfectly, the sense of humor and stuff. And here, everything was so separate from one another. The goofiness didn't merge with Gwen Stacy. You know, like I was telling your nephew, I was saying that Jamie Foxx was like, he was still on In Living Color. You know,
Yeah. You know,
as goofy as he looked, it's like, okay, you're not doing a sketch.
I remember,
Oh my
I think I
God.
gave it a B-, and I was being very biased because I love the Spider-Man character so much.
Yeah.
And now I think about it after I've watched it several times, I have to agree with you, it wasn't a very good movie. And I think a lot of the problem was they just shoved a bunch of stuff in here.
Yeah.
They didn't mention Harry Osborn at all in the first one, like you said.
Yeah.
And oh, Pete, how you doing? It's
Yeah.
been 10 years?
Yeah.
And the same problem they had with the first one, they had with the second one. No J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah.
That hurts them. And I have to agree with you. I've watched it several times since the review. I wouldn't give it a B- this time. I would have probably given it a C-.
Okay.
Because I think, and I totally agree with you, the storyline was all over the place.
Yeah, and you know, like I was saying, you know, earlier, but with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it was too convenient for me. Like I was saying, everything is connected. And, you know, everybody worked at Oscorp, like I was saying, even Robin.
Even Robin.
You know, that just becomes a pet peeve of mine. And plus, you know, another huge thing for me was that that this time around, Peter's motivation is he's trying to find out what happened to his parents, which is fine, but it kind of undercuts Uncle Ben, a little bit. Before, his motivations was that he finally learned responsibility, and he's honoring Uncle Ben by living up to this responsibility and doing things what's right for him to do. And this time he's being a little bit more selfish. I gotta find out what happened to my parents. Me.
And you agree with me? It felt like it was forced. There was a lot of things shoved in there in that time frame, and it was a long movie too.
Oh yeah.
And it's like they wanted to squeeze 5 or 6 movies in one movie.
Yeah.
And it had that feeling to it. It did. It did. Like Electro was lame. Yeah. I said that in the other review.
Yeah.
And it bothers me with Spider-Man and if Marvel gets control of it, please have better villains. Yeah, Mysterio, and they have so much more they could do with Spider-Man. And I think Marvel will do it justice for God's sake.
Oh yeah.
And the thing was, the movie, it was only setting up for a Sinister Six, which I'd love to see a Sinister Six movie, but take your time with it.
But if it's done that way, no.
Yeah.
No.
So, anyway, I think we'll wrap it up.
We're going to talk about what we're looking forward to in 2015.
What are we looking forward to?
Well, Avengers 2. I know we're all looking forward to that.
Avengers 2. Star Wars. Force Awakens.
Episode 7.
Yeah.
Come on, December.
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to that. I think Ant-Man, I thought the trailer looked pretty good. We'll see how it turns out, but I'd like to see a little bit more of it. And I don't know if you guys know, but the Marvel TV shows are going to be on Netflix. Daredevil starts April 10th. I'm looking forward to seeing Marvel has it back, thank God. And they got Jessica Jones and Luke Cage also going to be on Netflix.
I'm also looking forward to Jurassic World.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah. That's got Chris Pratt in it too, doesn't it?
Yes.
Anything else coming out this year that we want to see, guys? Oh, Terminator. Genesis. What do you think on that? It's supposedly a different timeline.
That's
what I heard.
That's what I'm thinking, and that's what's got me kind of excited about it, because it's kind of like the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies. It's a whole new thing.
Yeah.
Instead of being a sequel or a prequel or something like that, they're making it's kind of the same but different.
Yeah. Arnold's in it, right?
And Arnold's in it. Yeah.
So I will probably go check it out.
Yeah. But Star Wars and Avengers is my top 2.
Yeah, me too.
So
that's the one I might wait in all the midnight showing. I'll be like, get out there, but I don't know. We'll see. But
there's midnight showing in Star Wars. Are you kidding me?
That's the next 2.
I'd be like, I have the money. For all you, just give me your money later.
You gonna wear your Jedi robe?
With nothing underneath it.
Yes. You gonna try the Jedi mind trick on a chick? You will take your clothes off?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So, I'm Tony Beers.
I'm Jason Case.
Robin Kratzer.
We'll see you next year, in 2015. Toxic Pop has a new Facebook page. Like it to see pictures and keep informed about our upcoming events and videos. A link is in the description. Go to www.facebook.com/toxicpop1.